Oh yeah, we are going live. We're on Facebook. We are getting ready for some inspired conversation. We're gonna have some really cool guests for you tonight. We're listening right now to Calabash. Yes, and I have permission to use your music. Let me tell you. You know, you just gotta set a mood. When you sit down having a conversation with your girlfriends, you gotta set the mood, right? You gotta make sure that get your drinks ready, people. Might be a conversation that you may want to have some pad, well, some pen and paper, not a pad, because that would just be not right.
I have my drink ready.
Oh, Moheen has her drink ready.
Got my water.
Jessica's got her drink ready. We're gonna start this conversation. Hopefully some people are joining us. Look at us. Oh, she's got some nice water there.
Oh yeah.
Now, if my beautiful page would allow me to share to my own page, that would even be amazing. Don't you love Facebook? That's been happening now. People are joining in.
Awesome.
This great conversation on the last day of August. You know what? It is Independence Day in Trinidad and Tobago. And you see me wearing my red all here. It's because it is Independence Day. And if this beautiful page doesn't let me populate just now, I'm going to have to just share it a different way. Is it coming up on your page, Moheen? I hope it is.
I already have it. I've already shared it, actually.
Oh, look at that. She shared
Okay,
it.
I don't see it yet.
Okay.
Oh, I see it. I'm on the wrong page.
I'm going to give Jessica a chance to share it to her page. So yeah, it is the 58th year of independence in Trinidad and Tobago. And if you don't know by now that I am from Trinidad, well, you know now. This music is actually produced by some Trinidad and Tobagonians, some Trinbagonians, that's how we say it.
Okay.
And, from Calabash. And so we're going to turn down that music now. And I just want to say thank you and welcome everyone to an inspired conversation with Victory Speaks. And for those of you that don't know me, I am your host, Nicole Waldron. And Victory is my name. My name means victory. And I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to have inspired conversations and share them with my friends, my new friends, and my not so new friends that will become friends. Because I believe we all have inspired conversations, and it's such a loss when we don't share those conversations with each other so we can get to greatness. You know, we always have, and we also have good, not so good, and some ugly conversations. And sometimes even out of those ugly conversations comes some good. And even in the midst of COVID, I've said, let's find the opportunity in the crisis. Can we? Can we not just make it all doom and gloom? Can we find a way to just do some things differently? So I've got these two women with me, and some of you may have seen one before. You know her as Moheen Lombard. And yay. And when we're like, why is she back? Well, she's back for many reasons, because she's my good friend and I love her. And I want to see her just propel into supernatural, phenomenal, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious greatness.
That's supercalifragilistic.
Yeah. And she's written a book, and I'm so happy and I'm so proud of her. And triumph into what did I just say?
Triumph over trauma.
Oh my Lord.
Don't triumph into trauma, please.
Triumph over the trauma. And we spoke about a month ago, and guess what? It's almost here, September 7th. Yay! We're all excited. And knowing Moheen for a long time, we won't say how long, Moheen, but it's been a long time. And knowing her story, the fact that she was willing to put pen to paper, and she's been talking about it and hesitating and wondering, And
Educating is a
when she
good
said
word.
she did the story, I was like, okay, who helped you do that? Because you didn't tell any of us that you were doing it, even those in your close circle. But I feel no angst. I feel no angst because guess what? She did it. But I wanted to know who was the person that had her do it. And then she told me about this phenomenal woman, Jessica Williams.
Woo!
And yeah, you. And
Hey,
I said, okay,
everybody.
I gotta meet her. And the world's gotta meet her because if she can make you tell your story and deal, just be all out there, I'm like, yes, the world needs to meet her. So for those of you who don't know who Moheen is, I want to say about who Moheen is, a little bit about who Pastor Jessica is. And, we're in our living room. We all got our cups. I wish I had like some wine in here or something. Nobody brought me any wine. I just got a
Me
cup of
neither.
water. It's green though. It's a pretty cup. Oh, you
Got
got
green with the
Starbucks.
Starbucks.
They better become a sponsor
I
for
listen.
us. You know what I'm saying? We need some money, honey. But let's get into this. So Moheen is a transformative speaker, facilitator, mediator, and educator in restorative practices for over 15 years. She partners with the police, church, schools, and the community. She spent the majority of her life battling and overcoming various traumas such as racism, sexual, physical, and emotional abuse. Moheen has developed language and structural tools to assist in gaining deliverance and freedom. Residing in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, for those of you who don't know. She's a proud mom of her 4 children. We will leave them nameless for now because we don't want any stalkers. We want
Come on now.
and she affectionately calls her heartbeats. Her youngest one is born on my birthday, so that doesn't have a special place in my heart, but this one does. And January 7th, folks, remember that date. It's a great day. And her mandate is to empower, equip, and educate people towards their calling, purpose, and destiny in God. Yay, Moheen! I should have the round of applause.
Honored to be
should have put
here.
the sound
Thank you.
effect on. I need to get a sound effect machine, And then there is this phenomenal woman. It's just so fine. Jesus is Lord. Jessica D. Williams is a native of Catherine, Alabama, and currently resides in Huntsville, Alabama. She is the CEO of Keen Vision Publishing. She also serves as the executive pastor at All Nations Worship Assembly, woo woo, Huntsville, come on now, where her specialty is leadership and team development. She's an author, entrepreneur, leadership coach, and when she's not working and running her business, she enjoys serving her community. She is on a mission to help individuals recognize the leader within them. She believes strongly that when people recognize themselves as leaders, their lives change and they can change the lives of others. Her life's calling is to push people into maturity and to help others maximize their potential through mentoring, teaching, and love. Now, I just saw her screen just went dark. Jessica, where did you go? Oh my God.
I was like, what just happened? Woo! I mean, it was so good.
She was moved. Just like, yeah. Jessica disappeared from my screen. But Moheen, while we wait for Jessica to come back on, tell me something. Tell us about this new book that you're about to release into the world.
Okay, it is called Triumph Over Trauma, as we spoke about before. And it really, I've had people ask if it's an autobiography. It's really not. It's an account of different things that I have been through and faced in life, and the tools that God gave me and equipped me with to get my freedom and to get my healing and to get my deliverance. Yeah.
I'm getting emotional there, Moheen.
But no, my brain went in 3 different places at once. And I was like, really back, really back, really back. Okay. It really is my desire in writing this book. I think it's important for us that are older in age or maybe been through some things and a little bit seasoned in life. I think it's important for us to assist the next generation and those that have been through that are even our age or older. I think it's important for us to begin to share with people the tools that we use to gain our freedom in hopes of bringing other people through. I don't think we live this life in vain. I think everything is on purpose and in purpose. And even those things that we didn't ask for will be used for a greater purpose. And so it really was my heart, after meeting different people, working in the school system, working in the courts, working with various different people and hearing what they were going through. I really felt it pressed upon me to equip people with the skills and the tools to successfully navigate through life instead of watching them and saying, well, you should have done this. It's really my goal to walk alongside people and walk through trauma with people and help them gain the keys to their freedom and deliverance. And she's back.
And she is
I'm
back.
back.
Yay!
I got kicked out, but I'm back.
That was not nice.
The devil won't prosper today.
Right?
Listen, we knew that this is going to be an epic conversation that is going to change and affect lives. And,
Absolutely.
and as I said, you know, when I started Inspired Conversations, it's just because we talk with our girlfriends and stuff, and we just need to really inspire each other to greatness. And so I'm going to try and not call you Pastor Jessica. I'm going to just keep Moheen's in my head. Moheen's in my head.
I'm so sorry.
Moheen got you. She got you.
She got me good. She got me good. This is when, you know, you're just talking. So
Yeah.
Jessica,
Yes.
your publisher, Key and Vision Publishing, you've published over 100 books in your publishing company. You started it in 2014. And so
Absolutely.
what made you start this publishing company?
I actually didn't start off with a publishing company in mind. I wanted to just like edit stuff. Like I am a lover of words. Like I love literature. And, you know, back when I was in undergrad, I would like edit papers for people. I had my son early, so I was just trying to find ways to make money, or I would actually write papers and stuff like that. So once I started teaching, I needed an outlet from education because, you know, sometimes we need an outlet from our day-to-day jobs. And little did I know, like the outlet I was looking for was a part of my purpose. And so I launched this editing company. It grew legs and ran away from me like really, really fast. It was like a toddler, like growing really quick, running all over the place. You know, we got connected with a lot of great authors, a lot of great writers. And the issue we were running into was a lot of the people I edited for, they couldn't get a publishing company to take their work on because they mentioned the name God, or it was too spiritual, or whatever the case may be. And God was like, hey, it's time for King Vision Editing to step it up a notch. And that's how we became King Vision Publishing. We released our first author in 2016. Yep, it was 2016. And so we haven't stopped since then. We're about 30 books away from 300 published.
Wow.
So I'm really excited about that. Yeah. So that's a little bit about how we came about. And I just love being able to empower people to, you know, tell their story and also create another stream of income, you know?
So why do you think it's important for someone to tell their story? Why should you tell your story?
Because it's like, if you don't tell it, who's going to tell it? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to be the one to put language behind your trials, your tribulations, the things that you endured, the things that you go through? I'm one of those people. I believe that we all have a certain group of people that are called to us. There's a scripture that connects to that too. It's floating away from me, even as we talk. But I believe that we all have a certain group of people who are called to us. And one way that connects us to our people, one way that we find our people is when we tell our story.
Right.
You have to be, you know, mindful of those who gravitate to you when you tell about the things that you've endured, the things that you've gone through. And I have a lot of people come to me when it comes down time to write a book, and they're like, well, you know, Jessica, everybody wrote a book about this. Everybody said this already. It's already been said, but it's like, you haven't said it. You know, it's some people out there who need to hear what you have to say, the way you have to say it. So that's why I believe in, you know, pushing people to tell their stories. And, you know, also your books live beyond you. You know, I have authors, maybe about 2 who have, you know, passed on since they've released their books, or one didn't even make it over to the releasing stage, but their stories are still here. You know, their stories are still in the earth. And, you know, telling your story, releasing it, it allows you to connect with people all over the world who may never even meet you, You never even get to shake their hands, but they can be impacted by your story. So that's why I do what I do, Nicole. That's why I do it.
You know, I am so excited. I don't even know where to go. And Moheen, if you want to jump in here, because I'm just like,
I know that was a lie. I talk too much.
you know, it's like, I'm thinking of Chad Boswick right now, you know,
Mm.
like he told a story and we didn't even know he was telling a story. Like he did all those
Wow.
in the midst of his illness. And now the story is unfolding about who's in your corner. Like when you're saying, you know, who's with you, who's riding with you, who's inspiring you. For me, it reminds me of ironing, sharpening iron. Like, you know, when you go into the kitchen, you got a knife. The only thing that can sharpen that knife is another knife or a piece of iron of the same kind. And so when you have like-minded people around you, sharpening you, you're going to get sharper, you're going to get better. And I love what you do because propelling people into their purpose and helping them tell their story is so amazing. Like, how do you battle? Like, sometimes you think you don't have a story to share. You know, sometimes you like, does everybody have a story to share? Like, you know, write a book. I just don't even know about like, do we all have a story to share?
That's you know what? Nobody has ever asked me that before, you know? I'm pondering on it. I'm thinking, I believe so. I believe that everybody has a story to share. I believe that the impact of that story differs according to your level of wholeness. And also I think it differs according to your awareness of your own story.
Right.
Yeah. I think that is what differentiates what kind of story we get to tell. You know, even when I think about Moheen and, you know, the difficulties Moheen faced early on, which she talks about in her book, and I'm not going to talk too much about it because y'all need to go buy the book. It's released in a couple of days. But even when I think about Moheen's story and the things that she's gone through, her story would be a lot different if Moheen didn't take the time to heal. If Moheen didn't allow herself to get connected with the church and even taking her relationship with God seriously, her story will mean a little bit. It will mean something different. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think that we all have a story to tell, but our attention to that story, our awareness of what we've gone through, and the amount of healing we've allowed ourselves to endure determines the impact of our story.
And so I guess it could be very scary writing your story. Moheen, what was that process like for you telling your story?
Boy. As a person that struggled with being vulnerable, although I can tell people I was very transparent because I can always tell you what I've gone through, I believe there's another level of vulnerability I had to go to write this book, which was not comfortable. But God kind of said, nah, you're going to write it this way. So I think for me, it wasn't, it was emotional. I had blocks a few times because I would touch on something that was triggering. But I will say that at the end of writing, the deliverance that came the minute I pressed send, I don't think there was a joy that hit me that no man can take away, honestly. And that's not just being cliche-ish and saying it. I just felt this weight release. And it was like, because as someone that goes through something, you always want to be able to tell your story. You don't really want the feedback. You don't really want the response. You just want the avenue within which to say, this is what happened to me. And a lot of people don't get that. You go to a counselor and they help you work through the process. But sometimes people, you know, when you call a friend, you're like, I just want to vent. Just give me a minute to vent and I'll be okay. This was my venting process. But along with the venting process came a realization of self, came deliverance from things that weren't right, the ability for God to really do a deep work within me. All those things came through the process of writing that. So to me, it was a complete journey to healing. So it wasn't easy because it was a level of vulnerability I really did not want to go into. And even now, actually, I read, because before you do the final, send it to get printed, I had to do a reread. I don't even think Jessica knows this, but I called my mom. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. There's some areas you might want to skip. I think I told a little bit, you might not be comfortable with the way I phrased something that happened to me, because it was graphic. But
Yeah.
in the moment, I couldn't think of any other way to write it. And the Lord was like, just write the truth. I was like, I don't really want to do that. But it hit me afterwards. I was like, still love me when this is done, Mom. I promise you I'm a good child. But it's hard for her, right? And we've even had those conversations, because those people that are connected to you, there's that whole level of when I tell my story, now their story, a part of their story is out there, and they have to work through the process of vulnerability and people's opinions and whatever. So it was a level of vulnerability I really don't want to revisit, but I'm sure, knowing my walk with the Lord, I'll be there next week.
Well, guys, if you have any questions for us, drop it on the Facebook. We'll try and catch your questions. If we don't answer it tonight, we'll definitely send you some answers in the comments after. But it sounds like there was some fear. There's fear when, when you're writing a book. And so this question, Jessica, Moheen, either one of you, like, how do you, one as a writer, because Jessica, you've written a book too. I know you've written a devotional. Hopefully I can get a copy. I got to order my copy of your book. But how do you, get past your fear? And then how do you encourage others to get past the fear when they have to write the book, go through that process, especially for someone who's doing like basically an autobiography, when you just have to keep it real. This is not even fiction. This is life, brethren, sistering.
I love it. Moheen, you gonna tackle it?
Yeah, I'm gonna tackle it because I have to give you props in it. So I think it's very important who you're connected to. Yes, you. I love how that went right over.
I was so glad you said you were gonna tackle it. I didn't hear the rest of it.
That was hilarious.
No, I'm gonna big you up, girl. For me, it really matters who you're connected to. And I think in doing something like this, every time Jessica and I spoke, I think I said to her, I think I'm having a mini panic attack. I'm having a lot of anxiety. It is super important to have someone that has the same beliefs as you, has the ability to see you beyond you being able to see yourself, and has the ability to encourage, empower, and pull that out of you. Mm-hmm. So I just want to give a real quick testimony. I did not know I just have such a problem calling her just Jessica. I met her. Okay, listen, let me put it out there. I met her as Pastor Jessica. So that's what I say. So if I go back and forth, y'all don't judge me. I went to a training for church, and this beautiful woman was doing our training. And at the time, the Lord was talking to me about writing the book. And I couldn't find anybody to go with. I talked to people who'd done it before, and I just didn't feel to move ahead with the people that they brought to me. And so she was speaking. And then at the end, she flippantly said, because it wasn't the first thing that came out of her mouth, oh yeah, and I have a publishing company. And immediately the Holy Spirit said to me, that's your publisher. And I connected with her. And I know, had I not made that connection, I still wouldn't have written my book. Because there were times, I would tell her I'm having a mild anxiety, but I'm literally in my chair on the phone with her, and my brain, it wasn't functioning. She would say to me, well, woman of God, what do you want to, I'd be like, I don't know. And the great thing about Jessica, she's like, well, you're going to have to figure it out. There was no coddling. There was no, oh God. And it was, for me, I'm a visionary, but I have to see, I literally have to see it before I can tell you what I see. She would sit patiently on the phone. She'd be like, what do you want your logo to look like? I don't know. Well, you're going to have to know. She'd ask some probing questions. I don't know. And then 2 seconds later, she would just sit there quietly. Boom, it would come to me, and I'd be like, I want it to look like this color. Mm-hmm. She's like, see, you have it in you. Yeah. But you need someone that can work with you. And like I said, is patient and able to see who you are and pull that out. Not in a forcefully, I'm going to do it. But listen, I hate to tell you this, it's going to be uncomfortable, but we're going to have to go here for a second. And there were a few times that she said that to me, and I was like, okay. But it worked. So I can't say it. So I think it's everything that if you're a person of faith, you need to have someone who's of the faith that has the Holy Spirit that helps you and walks you through this journey, because there are going to be several times that the enemy is going to come and try and shut that all the way down.
It's me.
And so what is your advice to getting over the fear? I have a question in the back of my mind. I should get a piece of paper so that I don't forget the question, because I'm going to be an active listener today. Active
You need paper, Nicole, because we be running.
Come on now.
I was over here cracking up at Moheen because she's telling the 100% truth. And it's so funny to hear her side of the story. You know, it was like every time I talked to her, I never guessed or I never assumed that she was afraid. It was always like, I read this woman's book. I know what's on the inside of her. I ain't putting up with this. Like, I don't know what she's talking about. She ain't ready. She don't know what she want. You know, all this other stuff. But she took it like a champ. She had those moments where she was like, whew, am I really doing this? I honestly think the process went by so fast that she didn't realize, like, okay, we're at the end of the road and it's time for you to release this thing to the world. So I was over here in a mix of laughing and crying because, you know, y'all know I told y'all wasn't gonna cry me, and y'all done cried me already. Y'all done already cried me. But if I could give any advice on fear,
tissue, Jessica, you need some tissue. I'll give you some tissue, girl. Go ahead, cry.
Reach one through the screen. It'll get to me from Toronto. But if I could share any advice on fear, the only thing I would say is something that a pastor friend of mine, his name is Pastor Torres, he told me one time during a consultation where I was dealing with some fear of my own. He told me, Jessica, fear is a door. It's not a wall. It's a door. Wow. He was like, you don't have to try to get around it. You don't have to try to knock it down. All you have to do is just walk through it. And ever since then, y'all, like this happened in April. You know, on the outer exterior, people, we can come across as real bold, but I was bold in what I knew. I wasn't bold in what I wasn't comfortable in. So that during that consult with Pastor Torres, that was the biggest thing for me, fear. I knew what to do. I knew what God called me to do. I knew the timing. I got the content, all of that. It was just being so fearful, you know, and ever since then, it's been like, let's go. Then I messed around and turned 30. It's a wrap. Fear, what? And you know, even to speak to what you said before, Nicole, about Chadwick Boseman, just even thinking about the fact that this man had colon cancer and was still impacting lives. He's a personal favorite of my son and I. I took Chad to see his first movie when it first came out in April 2013 when he was in 42. Playing as Jackie Robinson. And I remember my son seeing him and, you know, the credits roll on the screen. He's like, oh, that man has my same name, you know? So we've been following him since then. So even to, you know, hear about his death, it was heartbreaking, but it was also that extra kick that we needed. Like, hey, if this man superseded everything he was dealing with to pursue his purpose, what is your excuse? You know what I'm saying? Fear in comparison to colon cancer, that's not an excuse anymore, you know? So we're gonna walk through that door.
Listen, you're hitting so many nuggets right now. Like you just said the perfect thing right there in terms of Chad and this conversation, purpose. So I'm gonna ask you ladies, when you hear purpose, what does that look like to you? And when do you know, let's go deep. Sitting up. When do you know you have victory in your purpose?
You got it, Moheen.
Jessica's wife got me. Okay, so the question was, how do you know when you're in purpose? And how do you know when you have victory?
Yep.
To me, I think purpose is ever evolving because as I grow, the purpose is going to grow and expand with me. How do I know I'm in purpose? I have... as much as it might be a task and a chore, it's not a task and a chore to me at all. It's like breathing it's like breathing. Like you don't realize the effort that you put forth to do it till you sit down and reflect and go, whoa, I didn't realize I did all that because it felt like nothing because it's what you were designed to do.
Right.
So it's as easy as breathing. How do I know there's victory in that? The fruit. Yeah. The fruit of it, definitely. I just got that from my sister, so I'm just I'll keep it real. Thank you. But yeah, I'd say the fruit of it definitely. And I also think that when you realize it's exploding to beyond what you even thought it could be, I think there's no limit in God. I believe there's no limit. There's no limit to God. There's no limit to what we can do in him. And let's look back at Chadwick again. Yes, he showed us you can go through all this. I'm still going to keep trucking and you're not going to know because my strength is found in him. And so I think
Come on,
that for us, when you're in purpose or when your victory is in purpose, it just keeps expanding. The borders keep opening. The horizons keep coming, right? It's like the prayer of Jabez.
And there's a grace. There's a grace.
Yeah, there's a grace.
There's a grace.
And even at the end, again, when you sit back and reflect, it looks like nothing because you're doing something that you were put on here to do. Yeah.
Good.
Oh, Jessica, I know.
Tag team.
That's just
Jessica.
like,
The book is closed. What are you saying, Nicole? The book is closed. You want to try to come behind that? I mean, she said everything. That's what purpose is. I 100. Whenever I teach purpose, whenever I'm helping people, understand their purpose and stuff, everything she just said, it's ever evolving. I really wish that they would rewrite some of these books on finding a purpose. It's not a step to the left, step to the right, you figure it out tonight, whatever the case is. It's just not like that. You have to live out your purpose pieces as they come. And like Moheen said, it evolves. So as you mature, and not mature in age, but mature in your wisdom and your understanding of who God has called you to be, different areas of your purpose is revealed to you. It starts off small, it seems insignificant, but if you follow through with it, your purpose grows, your understanding of your purpose grows. I think the reason why a lot of people, Nicole and Moheen, I think the reason why a lot of people don't see the full potential of their purpose before they leave this earth is because they didn't follow the little breadcrumbs. They were looking for the big opportunities, the big platforms, the big chances to be on the microphone, the big chances to sell their products or whatever the case is, but they didn't see when God was sending somebody in their community for them to encourage.
Come on now.
They didn't see when, they got those 2 followers that every time they post them, they comment on it. They overlooked that, because they're looking for the big pieces. So that's my take on purpose. We on the same page, man. We need to teach a class or something.
Listen. And
did you say class? Okay, we're gonna have a seminar online, and we're gonna put it together by October. Class is in session. Small Business Week is October. Come on, people. We're not.
What? Does she do this all the time? Moheen?
She does. She really does.
This is like the second business strategy we've gotten from her today. Yeah. I'm overwhelmed. I can't.
Come on now.
Again.
For me, purpose is a process on the road to destiny. So we're every day we're moving in focus. And sometimes, the guilt of society judging us, well, you didn't do this today, and our procrastination beats us down and all this judgment and stuff. I love what you said about sometimes the books need to be rewritten in purpose because they have people living in condemnation and guilt. And I think that leaves you stuck. And you need people that can come alongside you. And I'm learning that for myself as I mature. And I see where I've been stuck, and I see where the fear made me stuck, or the judgment made me stuck, or all this definition of what purpose is, and being afraid. And it's having those like-minded people. So I'm really as pleased as a good old red plum today to just have this conversation. And I hope that anybody who's listening here can feel some inspiration and feel the ability to help being unstuck. And as I say, whether you're listening live or you're listening in the rebroadcast and you have a question on purpose and on life and writing your book, getting it out there. Jessica is not just a publisher. She is an author herself. Moheen is now a published author, also a life coach as well. So Moheen has been, doing coaching for, as soon as I know her, conflict resolution and all these different things. And she has helped me process things through life. But we're going to switch gears for a moment because, as we talk about purpose and life and stuff, Miss Jessica, you're a busy little bee. I was up in Kool-Aid today. Let me tell you, it was some grape Kool-Aid, it was some red Kool-Aid, and it was some lime Kool-Aid. Because I did chocolate thing. You're doing red chocolate. I see there's a Chad, an agency for your son, a charity for your son. I see that you love horses. And then I saw you turn 30 and you had this whole big reveal. What do you know about me? What don't you know about me? You just embraced it, girlfriend. I
Yes,
was just like
ma'am.
so excited to be up in your Kool-Aid today. It was good. I should
It
say
was
over
all red.
again. So what is this journey to 30? Like I listened to all that you've done and yes, your maturity. You know, how did you even how did you even get there, girl? Like at 30. If I was where you are at 30, I'm now 50. What? Something. I mean, like
It,
you're
it was just
inspiring me.
life.
You're inspiring me. Tell us the story, man. Give us it's just us girls.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here for it. Moheen to tell you, I'm very transparent.
Yes.
I'm not very a traditional pastor. That's the reason why sometimes I prefer to go without that title, because sometimes it comes with a preconceived understanding of who I
Yeah.
am, and that's an
Mhm.
assignment. It's a part of who I am, very much so. I'm ordained since the beginning of time for it, but it's just a part of who I am. I'm also human. I'm a human being. I got flesh and blood, and like most humans, I was a little knucklehead growing up. Like started off a little knucklehead. I was very, very persistent in my own way. If my mom is on here, I don't know. I think she was trying to tune in earlier, but I was very persistent in my own way. I thought I knew everything. I've had a planner since I was in the 6th grade, so I've always kind of known which way I want my life to go. But somewhere around freshman year in college, it was like, boom, girl, you really don't know nothing about life. Got pregnant with my son, had him at the end of my sophomore year, and I had no choice but to grow up. I realized that if I wanted to be something different for my son, I would have to be something different. And so since I was about 19 or 20, I've just been on this journey, getting to know God for myself, pursuing my purpose, understanding what was all in me. Also, I think, and I tell people this a lot of times, but purpose will grow you up. Like purpose will really grow you up. If you lean into that thing, it'll mature you. Because when your purpose calls you to be something or to operate on a level that you're not quite at, you do what you have to do to answer the call.
Yep.
When I got my first taste of like purposeful living, I wanted some more. Like I cannot go back to living without definition, living without reason, living without understanding of why I'm even here. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted more of that. And the more of my purpose that I craved, the more my maturity level had to go up. So, there are certain things, and I don't think that immaturity is a age thing. I just think it's a choice thing. But I know, but I'm very cognizant of the fact that there are a lot of adults my age, just leaving their late 20s, going into their 30s, whatever the case may be, who may choose to make some very immature decisions at times. But for me, I couldn't do it anymore. I wish I could still roll my eyes at the lady in the drive-through line, but she might go to my church. I just don't know. I wish I could, go off on somebody at Walmart, but kind of sort of can't do that. I wish I could stay in my bed and not go to work one day, but my son got to eat. He a big boy. You know what I'm saying? So the more I pursue purpose, the more I just had to mature to answer the call. So that's kind of sort of, it ain't me. And I'm still growing. Please know that. I try to tell people all the time. God showed me something 2 days after my 30th birthday. I'm like, bro, I thought we was done with that. Like, what are you saying? We got to talk about that again, But that's what growth is. Every time you see that ugly thing, every time you see that part of yourself that you don't like, that feels weird, maturity is about attacking it head on instead of just letting it roll under the rug. And I think that when we have the courage to do that, that's how we grow up. So that's what happened for me.
So who inspires you?
Who inspires me? My son. I would literally start crying if I could explain to you this child. I don't know where he came from. He is perfect. He is perfect. Like, he is perfect. I don't understand where he came from. Of course, he has like the typical little boy stuff that he does, but my son is so encouraging, so inspired. He has wisdom far beyond his years. he's the reason why I go. Even before I got on the live today, I was doing my makeup, helping him with homework. It's like, okay, Mom, it is 6:34. You have approximately, 5 to 6 minutes. You need to be okay. Yes, sir.
Aw.
I even remember going through and dealing with depression, and I wasn't honest with my son about it. I tried to hide it because I'm like, no, I'm mom. I'm the superhero. I got to save the day. But there were so many days where he had to save the day for me.
Come on.
I didn't want to get up in the morning. He would come in there, literally throw the covers off my bed and take my feet out the bed. Like, no, mama, you got to get up. We got to do this. We got to go. We're a team, just to hear him reverberate and repeat the things to me that I said to him. Like, that's who inspires me. I that little boy. I don't like the fact that I brought him into the world before I was prepared financially, but I know that he was the godsend. I don't know why God picked me for him. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it every day, but that's my reason. Like, that's my inspiration. That's who inspires me.
Because you're the perfect mom for him, because God doesn't make mistakes. So therefore,
I never believe it. I never believe it.
You're the perfect mom for him. You're the perfect mom to grow him in his personality. You're the perfect mom and the perfect woman to emulate. You're the perfect woman that he could pour into and fulfill his assignment here on the earth. You're that woman. It's like, I mean, sometimes we have, all of us have had children when we didn't plan to have children, but then these same children are the ones that are reflecting us and showing us who we are and mentoring us, even as we mentor them. And you spoke about depression and going through the depression and keeping it real and learning how to do that. I really commend you on that, and that speaks to you and your son. I'm going to look to Moheen now, like, to who inspires you. And I have a feeling, I don't know what she's looking at, Moheen. I don't know what you do.
Sorry. My youngest is having quite a bit of stomach distress right now. So I'm looking at him trying to gauge if he's okay, but he won't come to me. So we're okay.
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 Yeah. So I'll give you a moment, Moheen. I'm going to go back. Do you need a moment, Moheen, to go deeper?
No, we're good. We're good.
So Jessica's, as you talk about the depression and going through that, and Chad helping you, and now you have this charity in his name. What's that about?
So he has his own business. So wait.
He has his own business.
Come on, he does. Come on.
He's a little business owner. We've not put some real attention into it since this whole COVID thing happened. But my son makes natural cleaning supplies, and they are kid safe, kid friendly. And he made it because he has to help with cleaning.
I love
that. That's where the idea came from. And so we did some research, did some mixing, and our church did this cool kid entrepreneur day where the kids could sell their products and stuff. And hey, that's the day he launched it, and he has been sending stuff. We have family in Birmingham, in different parts of Alabama, and so we have been sending it, shipping it out. People love it. It has a great scent, and I'm thinking that we're gonna probably reboot in 2021. We're doing some rebranding right now. So yeah.
I mean, that's
awesome.
amazing. That sounds like conversation 3 with us, guys.
Let's do it.
Kid Entrepreneur Series with Jessica and Moheen. So Moheen, I'm going to flip to you for a hot second. So who inspires you, beloved?
Oh, you already know.
I know, but the people don't know.
Oh.
What are you talking about, girl? Yeah, I know it's just the 3 of us, but we have some people who are in our conversation.
Yeah, my 4 heartbeats. I don't think I could. You know what? I totally concur with what Jessica is saying. It's like my heart gets full when I think about them. My greatest joy is having them around me or being able to give to them the way I want to give to them. Again, it's very similar. Like I didn't choose. Wasn't probably the best time to have them, but God has been very gracious and very good and has given me, I don't know, 4 of the most amazing kids on the planet. Other one's almost 30, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. I can't even believe just thinking that she's almost 30. I'm just gonna fall on the floor. real.
Yeah,
You look
27
like
years
this. What
old.
the heck are you saying,
Well,
girlfriend?
you know, we have good genes in my family, you see. God has been very good to
I
Hey.
us.
mean, good geez, baby. You don't even look 30. I'm like, how you got a 30-year-old?
Yeah, she's 27. I say it though, it's funny because I was with them this weekend. I looked at her and I'm like, you look like you're 16. And she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, mom, that would be great, except for I'm not. so,
It's
so
grown.
yeah, but I mean, for me, it's even I think if you say like what inspires me also, it's the ability to look back on what I've been through and look at where I am now. And I said to someone, you know, you're a successful parent. I don't really know if there's a successful parent, but when your kids are good, despite all the trauma you've been through, despite all the harrowing circumstances they've had to live through, they're of sound mind, they're doing well, they add value to the community and to those that they're in their lives. Like that's an indicator that you can take that, hey, maybe I didn't do too bad and maybe I should stop beating myself up because
That's
I
so
am the
good.
best that I can be for them. But yeah, that's my inspiration. 150%.
Moheen,
Yeah.
you said, stop beating yourself up. And let's be
Mhm.
real. Moms, we tend to beat ourselves up a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What advice would you give? Or, what tip, not ship. I want to be on a ship. No, it's COVID. I don't want to be on a ship. But what tip would you give to moms, who are beating themselves? Like, all felt the beat up that we're not doing this right. And whether it's our child becomes sick or something is happening, what tip do you have for a mom to get through the guilt?
You're human.
Mm.
Mm.
That you show me one person that's a perfect parent except for God himself. And I'll be amazed. Everybody has made mistakes. The question is, what do you do after you've made the mistakes?
Yeah.
The one thing I learned to do many, many, many years ago, because the Lord was like, if you're going to be authentic and transparent, you need to be it with your kids. Stop acting like everything's great. And it's not that I go and say, oh, woe is me, the world is ending. But the reality is there are times I've messed up and I've had to go back and apologize because I'm human. And I'll say to them, I apologize. I made a mistake. Shouldn't have done this. Shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have this. Shouldn't have that. But I think when you start to show your kids your vulnerability as a human being, it is easier for them when they make small
Yeah.
mistakes in life, right? It's easier for
That's
them to
so
own up
good.
to their stuff. And I think we just don't do that. We like to present as there's no problems. Now, like as a joke, it's a joke. But my son will come to me and be like, oh, I want a new pair of shoes. I'm like, you got new shoes money? No? Well, then we're gonna have to wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep it
I'm like,
real.
I'm not gonna kill myself
Yeah.
Yeah.
to cut off groceries to get you a new pair of Jordans. I'm sorry, it's
Unless you
just not my
just need a
portion.
good pair of shoes. Yeah.
Right? I'm not gonna front and act like we
Nope.
have. The reality is we have so much money, we have to budget that money. We don't have allowance for it right now.
I love
And
it.
so maybe in 3 weeks we can talk
Yeah.
about maybe the offset brand of those shoes. But I just think when you are transparent and when you're real, it's everything. My parents, there was a degree of realness, but they never fought in front of me, which I totally appreciate. They would go to another room and come out as a union, but they let us know that life isn't always going to be peaches and cream, that life is not perfect. And I think that allowed me to make more mistakes, not make more
Wow.
mistakes, but be okay with it.
Yeah.
I just think we have to tear down all this
Facade.
smoke
Yeah.
screens and walls and just allow our kids to witness the journey of our own success and watch us navigate through life, because we are the first things that they see for everything.
But we're definitely going to be having a conversation about raising children. I was just talking to the person who also inspired me to do this show, which her name is Nicole Coco. And we were talking about children the other day,
Mhm.
raising children and the things like, that we do to our kids and the expectations that we put on them and like, how we penalize them. So, you raised a really good thing. You just jogged a memory that my parents didn't do it either. They didn't fight in front of you. And our grandparents did the same thing. And there was this method that they had that they would go in their rooms and have the conversation, but when they came out as a unit.
Mhm.
And the fighting didn't occur and that kind of stuff. There was a respect that they had for each other. They learned how to agree to disagree so that when they came out, just like we do it in board meetings, we do it so why don't we do it when we have our children? So I think that's some real conversation that we need to have. We were talking about we send our children to their room. Go think about it. So what the heck do you think they're thinking about when they go in the room? Did you give them any context? I mean, if I was a child right now, you told me go to my room with the kind of knowledge that I have, I'm going to say, how can I do it better so that they don't find out? And you send them to write lines. Here's the thing that I learned. And as you're talking about purpose, bing, bing moment here, send them to write lines about do not, take food without permission, or do not, put on the stove, or do not. Why don't we send them to write lines about what they should do? Why don't we send them to write lines of affirmation? Why don't we send them to write lines about purpose and come out with some positive statements instead of punitive lines that do not enhance them, because all they're going to sit in their room and do is rehearse the negativity, or rehearse rejection, or rehearse abandonment. I mean, it's going to be a whole nother conversation. We just need a conversation for, look at Moheen. I'm shutting up. What up, Moheen?
Because I think this is trying to keep it in.
Good.
If we are spiritual beings, let's talk about those of us that are believers, right?
Yes.
Life and death is in the power of the tongue. And the problem is that we are taking the model from, if you take the model from society that does not it's punitive. So you go to court and it's a punitive system. So we're taking that and modeling it in our home, but we're children of the Most High God. So we are to affirm and we are to speak life.
Like, teach, Moheen.
Listen, I'm telling you, I got upset one time with my son, and I went to say something and I said it out of turn and I left. And the minute I walked out of the room, the Lord was like, you just put rejection on your son. You just put something in the atmosphere and assigned it to him. And now he has to fight something that you assigned to your own child, and he's not equipped to fight it. And I was like, oops, turned right around and went back and said, Mommy was angry. Yeah. And I apologized for that. You are this, you are that. And I spoke life. However, your behavior, blah, 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 blah. And due to your behavior, this will be your punishment. Not you're an idiot, not you're a fool. I would never use those words anyway, but that was so dumb what you did. How could you be so stupid? Yeah. You're venting off, but now your child leaves and they think, Mom thinks I'm stupid. You just put that on your child's, right? We don't teach that. Even in the kingdom, we don't teach that. Well, go discipline the child. My parents, when I grew up, they would come in, I would get in trouble. So let me share a little story real quick. I was a young, bright girl, and I thought I was slicker than my parents, who'd been here much longer than me. And I was about 14, maybe 15, and I lived in the city, and they were having a cookout and like a party in the bush. So I told my mom I was going to my best friend, and my best friend told her mom she was coming to my house, and we went to the bush party. I wonder if my mom remembers this story. Anyway, I'm in the tent in the bush party. There's a bunch of us there. People are drinking. We're having fun. I'm not drinking. I'm just hanging out with some people in the tent. And I hear, where's my sister? Where is my sister? And I thought, oh, I'm about to die. Because my brother is raging through this party, ripping open tents, looking for his sister. He opens it and he goes, ooh, Mom's going to kick your, you know what? Come with me. Went home. I definitely got in trouble. I definitely got a spanking. I'm not going to tell you how, because back in the day, ping pong paddles and spoons were things that they used.
Yeah.
But after that, and I'm sitting on the bed, can hardly sit, upset, blah, blah, blah. My mom and dad came in and sat down. We love you. But what you did wasn't good. So we have to punish you. And this is going to be your punishment. So even though I got disciplined, they reinforced the love. And I've never forgotten that. I forgot the first spell when my older kids were younger. But with my younger two kids, I've worked very hard to, even after disciplining them, I will come back in and give them a hug. I love you. Ultimately, Mommy loves you. That will never change, because rejection is something the enemy always wants to jump on our kids, right? Parents don't love me. Nobody loves me. It doesn't matter. I'm all alone. So I back up the punishment with words of affirmation. And then we talk about what the discipline is going to be based on their actions, not who they are as a person. That's good.
And,
my rant is finished.
That is so profound, Moheen. And, something you said, Jessica said, it's come out in this whole conversation, humility, be teachable. And being vulnerable is okay. There's no shame in it. and have the courage to stand in the truth of who you are. That's some of the things that I'm even like getting out of this conversation. And when you're with it with yourself and you're transparent, and I know this from Moheen, and I'm learning this about you, Jessica, you have that similar trait. Transparency is key. Moheen has always been transparent. Moheen has always been about humility. That was what has allowed her to go to her kids and be that way. So this is such a powerful piece that I hope anybody's out there, and if you want to chime in, drop us a note. But this is so significant when we are teachable and we're humble and we are able to go before our children, we're able to go to our friends, and it teaches them how to apologize. And when you said life and death is in the power of the tongue, if you think about it, this whole world is either doing, if you're not getting the teaching from church, you're either going to a motivational speakers make the most money. Why? Because we have done such damage from inception, from punitive measures, from, we learned a lot of good things from our parents and our forefathers, but we have to know what wasn't so great and what was great, and not repeat the things, and have that open, frank conversation. This worked, this didn't work. We're going into relationships, not having the conversations with our partner. What's your parenting style? What's your parenting style?
That's
This
big.
is so good.
We pick godparents and we pick aunts and we pick mentors, but we don't sit down and look at values. What are your value statements? I know I didn't think about those things at first. And now that I wish I knew some of the things I knew now, like writing a value statement for my son, writing, the same way we write a business plan. What's the business plan for your family? Those things that we don't do that, get us in spiraling. But we're having such a good time here. I'm going to try and be cognizant of your time. Because, when girlfriends get on the phone, we don't really think about time. So I have a question for both of you. What is your definition of success? And I put it this way. When I say victory speaks, it's about living a victorious lifestyle. So if you were to hear that, living a victorious lifestyle, what does that mean to you? How can one live a victorious lifestyle?
Jessica's going first.
We had a thing. Like, you would start us off, I'm
switching it up.
Okay, cool beans. So you want the definition to success and living a victorious lifestyle, or living a victorious lifestyle? Which one? I think kind of
living a victorious lifestyle, because that to me is success. But unless success is something different to you.
No, absolutely.
You, that's okay. You can feel free to change it up, girl. It's your thought.
No, I'm rolling with it. I love the concept of living a victorious lifestyle. And for me, I think it's all about perception. You know what I'm saying? As a business owner, I've had to redefine what victory and what success looks like for us. To some, victorious may be, we put in $2 million in sales and whatever the case may be. But for me, I look at, how many people did we connect with? Who did we inspire to write their story? What were the challenges that we overcame? So I see living victoriously, living a successful lifestyle. I see it based on our ability to perceive our situations the way that God perceives it. If we look at our lives the way that God looks at it, I think that every day we experience some level of victory. Because, think about it, like, if he says that he causes all things to work together for our good, then it doesn't matter, what we encounter, what we face, it's working together. It's a part of that big success stew that God is making that's called our lives. Like, it's a part that he's adding into it. So yeah, he adds that turmoil in there. He adds that rejection in there. He adds that abandonment. He adds that lack of support. You know what I'm saying? He mixes it in with the wins, with the success stories, with the good days, with the awesome, that he mixes it all in, and it's just an amazing thing that we get to consume and enjoy and stuff like that. So I think success is based on one's perspective. I think living victorious is based on your perspective of the life that you experience.
I love that, Moheen.
That was good. I'm a snap for that one. That was good.
If you would have came before me, it would have been better. We had a team thing going on here. It would have been better.
We can still do this. We can still.
Iron sharpens
I'm
iron, ladies. Iron sharpens iron. Come on now.
I
Come
am going to
on.
agree. I do think it is perspective. I was going to say what I said, I think, in a prior conversation that we've had, Nicole, that it really is about celebrating the wins every day.
Yeah.
That I think every day is a new day to be successful. The fact that we made it through the day, that the fact that we're still breathing, the fact that we've accomplished things, I think sometimes our view is so broad that we forget. It's kind of like what you were saying, Jessica, before, that you forget about the small steps or the breadcrumbs, right? That get you to the bread or the loaf of bread.
Yeah.
I think it's a matter of really celebrating every day and what you've done. So I try and make attainable goals, so that I know that the big picture is this. Like, I know in 2 years, Moheen's going to have that ranch and it's going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? We're going to speak.
And I'm coming. I'm bringing my
You are
kids
coming.
to the
You
ranch.
are coming. It's happening. Absolutely. But I also know that the steps to get there. So even if I have a bad day and I make it through the day and I'm not in the same mood I was earlier, that's a win for me. I've got to learn to celebrate the small things, because someone that has vision or like has a big plan for their lives, you can get so caught in what's not happening, you forget what's taking place in front of you. And then you forget, Jessica, like you were saying, the ministry, right? The ministry is the people in your circle. So you don't realize the 1 or 2 people that are liking your stuff. You don't realize the person you minister to at the grocery store. It's not a big deal to you. But those are the things that God says, if you can manage that well, I'm going to give you the bigger. So for me, if I can be successful daily in the things that he's assigned me to daily, being aware, being discerning, hearing his voice. So I speak when I'm supposed to, move when I'm supposed to, do what I'm supposed to, so that every day it's a check, check, check. Then I'm moving towards, or I'm actually in a place of victory daily.
I love it. And we got a comment also about living a life of victory is be learnable, be teachable, be duplicatable. Jessica, you're looking lovely. You're looking lovely.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to charge my phone.
Oh,
Anyway,
it's one of those. Okay, it's one of those moments. Okay, you just tell me when you need me to take you off camera. But it's being learnable, teachable, and duplicatable. Thank you, Ed. This Dr. Vibe has chimed in here. Welcome, Dr. Vibe, and Anne Marine. My aunt's watching all the way from Trinidad.
Oh, that's awesome.
wow.
I got a friend watching from Nova Scotia. Oh, this is going. Who knows where they're tuning in from? And this is what the conversation is about. And so, and I love, Moheen, the small, in really taking the day and celebrating the wins. And one of the things I had to learn, and sometimes we put this big goal for the day. And I learned something the other day, the 1% rule. And I'm going to come back and probably get the person who talked about the 1% rule. But even if you did 1% today, one thing towards your vision today, and you didn't get to do the 5 things, celebrate that as a victory. And if you can do one more thing tomorrow, and you will keep seeing the victories and living in the moment of it. And when you can live in the now, it takes on a whole different meaning when you put 10,000 things before you, and then you feel defeated at the end of the day because you didn't accomplish it all. Celebrate that one. Celebrate that one. So, ladies, we're winding down. I'm trying not to wind down, but there's so much. Okay, greatest life lesson. I'm going to hit you with some power things. Greatest life lesson, people.
Okay, Moheen, it's your turn. You got to go first this time.
You know what? I think my greatest life lesson is this. I'm on the winning team. So it doesn't matter what comes my way. I'm on the winning team. Because what I realize is I'm getting super overwhelmed sometimes by life and things that's happening in life. And in a conversation with a friend of mine, she said to me, you're on the winning team. Like, never forget that. I don't fight this battle, right? I wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. And sometimes that battle I can't even manage. So if I open up my eyes, I see greater are those that are with me than those that are against me. I am not alone in this. And so for me, given everything I've been through in life, I just have to realize I'm on the winning team.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Jessica?
I think mine to date, like as of today, it would have to be that I'm my own competition. I think a lot of times what hinders us from becoming all that we could be is how we compare ourselves to other people. We compare ourselves to other people's journeys. We compare ourselves to what other people have, what we don't have, And so what has freed me from that has been realizing, like, Jessica, you're your only competition. Christ has set the standard. So that's what you're striving towards.
Come
and
on.
the only competition you have is the person that you were yesterday.
Yeah.
So if you did,
wait, Jessica. Well, he's going to kill me because I'm not supposed to interrupt anybody when they're talking. The
You know, that's a pet peeve.
competition you have is the person
Yourself.
It's who I was yesterday. So every day I wake up and I say, Jessica, how can you be better than you were yesterday? How can you help someone better? How can you be more of an encourager? How can you just outbeat yourself? Like, how can you beat what you did yesterday?
That's really good.
I'm typing. You keep talking. I'm typing.
That's it. That's all I got.
Drop mic and walk away.
What would you say to your younger self?
Girl, sit down.
Hey, come on.
Girl, sit down somewhere. I would literally look her dead in the face. Like, let me holler at like 18, 19, 20-year-old girl, sit down somewhere. Sit down. Sit yourself down and get yourself together. I would tell myself a lot of the things that you want, you're not even ready for. Like, you know we're ready for it. Like, I really look back on those times and I'm like, dang, if I would have spent a lot more time like working on myself, focusing on myself instead of, trying to be somebody boo and, trying to keep up with the Joneses and go to all the parties. And I was like, Lord, my business could be multi-billion-dollar company at this point if I would have got focused a little earlier.
Focus, people. Focus on you, your vision, and everything else will fall into place. Drop the mic. We want to walk. This is when girlfriends sit down. I feel like I need to prop my feet up now and get me some wings or something, because this conversation is getting good. Gooder.
Yes, it is. I'm loving it. Gooder.
Moheen, what would you say to your younger self, girlfriend? Gooder. I'm going to find a new word for this one. Goodericious.
I would have said sit down, definitely, for sure. I would say let it go. It doesn't matter. But I spent many years becoming someone that I was not for everyone else. And it's be true to you. Don't conform for anybody but the Lord. Be true to you. Yeah. Just believe in yourself.
So let's take this one step deeper. As women of color, Black women in this space, as we're dealing with anti-Black racism, I'm going to put on my other voice now. And sitting in a time where there's so much tension in the world, yet it's a moment of victory because we have some open portals that we haven't had in a while to deal with Black racism. And sitting in yourself, and we all have sons. So it's kind of like wherever you want to go with this, but as a mom, but as a Black woman, what advice, what tips, however you want to phrase it, to any Black woman listening out there, what do you have to say to them just to help them make it to even tonight, tomorrow, the next day, to be in the skin that they're in, to embrace who they are? What would you want to say to your sisters out there? Breathe. I got that one. Breathe.
Yeah. Just breathe. I am thinking so that I can position my words correctly, because the plight of the African American, the plight of Black people, period, like, I feel very, very passionately about it. And I don't want to go on a rant. So that's the reason why I'm over here breathing.
Whoa, don't hold back.
But I would definitely say to our sisters, you know, breathe. And it's okay to sit some of this out. I feel like the Black woman especially, I feel like even yesterday, and this is no slight to the comment that was made, but someone was like, it may have been during the march, but the young lady was speaking against about her brother being shot or whatever the case is. And she was like, Black women, make sure you love your Black man and take care of him and uphold him and support him and encourage him. And in my mind, I was thinking, oh, you mean what we've been doing for the last couple of whatever years? And it's not to say that there's not power in that, because it is. It's power in the Black family unit as a whole, absolutely, which is why it was attacked from the jump. You see what absolutely. I'm saying? But you cannot keep putting this weight and assignment on Black women to be the reason and to be the way and to be, no, the power is in the unit. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. We're women, we're stronger, we're able to process more mentally, we're able to do all this, but that don't mean we always should. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that we don't get a moment to take a step back and breathe and say, you know what, I can't take this one. Because we're tired too. So to all my sisters, I would definitely say, breathe. You know what I'm saying? Take a moment, breathe. You can sit it out if you need to. Heal, take care of yourself. One of the biggest reasons why so many women now, especially our women, are facing issues when it comes to conceiving and bearing children is because of the years of heartache and pain and how we've had to endure weight that God never assigned a woman to carry in the first place.
You better preach. Come on.
I get it. Yes, tell our sisters, support your brothers, all that stuff. But at some point, these men also have to realize that they have to step up and do their part as well. These churches, we got to stop having all these conferences telling women how to be women and how to be wives and how to be support partners, but we don't have conferences to tell men how to respect your support partner, how to receive your helpmate. Like, it's just a lot, you know? So like I said, I would tell the Black woman in this season, breathe. It's okay to be selfish. It's okay to take the time that you need to get your thoughts together. Get the counselor. Stop running from the therapist. Get what you need. It's okay to put the kids to bed early and get you a glass of wine because you need the detox from your day. It's okay, sister. You know what I'm saying?
Jessica.
I'm done.
Jessica.
Because I could go on and on and on, but that's what I would say to my sisters right now. Breathe. It's okay to breathe. It's so heartbreaking, y'all. It really is. This problem is years and years and years old. Like, it's intertwined with so many other issues, and it's not one person's fault. But you said to our sisters, so that's why I said to my sisters, breathe.
I'm not going to say a word until Moheen says it.
No, I was just going to say it's okay to grieve. Because we don't like to do that. And I mean, Jessica talked about it, right? We have to be the epitome of strength. We have to be everything. Yeah. But every woman wants somewhere to lay her head. Let's just keep it real. Do you know what I mean? So it's okay to grieve. Like, we are not super women. We are super women, but we can't do everything. It's just not possible. And the one thing I see that is missing, especially from our women, is the ability to just grieve. And then when it does happen, it's at the loss of a life. Like, that's not okay. Yeah. It's not okay. So yeah, it's okay to grieve. It's okay to cry. Yeah.
Keep going, Moheen.
It's a frustrating time. And I believe we're seeing a lot of people with mental health issues because of the stress and the duress of everything that is happening in the world today. Like, if you think about it, pandemic, and you're right, this racism has been forever, but you now have, it's all over social media. It's all you see when you get on there. You're seeing this, you're living in perhaps situations and circumstances that aren't the greatest, or maybe they are. The world is shut down globally. It is okay to grieve, but people are just losing it because they're trying to internalize everything and hold everything in. And I'm strong and I can, and I'm a person who myself has gone through that. Almost lost my cotton picking mind. Probably shouldn't say cotton picking mind. Almost lost my blasted mind. I just realized what I said. I'm like, wow, that was horrible. I
How
almost
to
lost
pick
my
you?
mind because I was trying to be everything to all people, but I wasn't being true to who I was or what I felt on the inside. So I agree. It is okay to breathe, and you can sit this one out. Well, not sit
Yeah.
this one out, but take a moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is a really pivotal part of the conversation. And I think this is where we as women get real. This is the kind of conversations we need to have. I'm trying not to cry um, as I listen because I'm trying not to cry for myself and I'm trying not to cry for the Black woman, the Black woman,
Yeah.
as I think about her. My Black sisters who are mothers, who are aunts, who are just women without children, who are going through and are just, they are born into being strong. Like you
Yeah.
have no choice, but this is what you're born into. And I know our Black men are going through their own stuff, and I'm raising a Black son. So I'm very much aware of it. But you said it so well, Jessica, that there's this onus that is put on Black women, and we have to be strong. And when we're strong, we're tagged as the angry Black woman. You've
Yep.
told us we have to be strong, but then you want to call us the angry Black woman. You told us
Mhm.
we have to be strong, and then when we speak up, we're not good enough for you. We got attitude, so you know what? I don't want to be with a Black woman. I can't be with a Black woman. Black men are telling Black women they can't be with them because you're too strong or you're too opinionated. And then again, the Black woman is degraded. The Black woman is, you know, degraded by the color of her skin, you know, the shadism that happens with Black women, and
Come
trying
on.
to figure it out. And we have our own competition.
Yeah.
Women on their own have their own competition, and then Black women have their own competition. And I long for the day when we as sisters can support each other and not
Yeah.
we don't have to compete against each other, that
Yeah.
we are our sister's keeper. And what does that mean? And you know, I can keep your secret and I can lift you up. And if I had to say, okay, you know what, Jessica calls me today and said, you know what, I'm having a really bad day. If I had to call Moheen, I said, Moheen, I need you to just pray for Jessica. I can't tell you why, but if Jessica comes into your head, can you just pray for her? Or can
Yeah.
you just think of, you know, or just hit her up with a positive word if you don't believe in prayer, because we're going to be real. Not everybody believes in prayer. Not everybody believes in prayer.
Right.
But, you know, do something positive. Random acts of kindness. If you see a sister that is down, you
Mhm.
don't have to ask her, do you have money or whatever else. A person can have money. It doesn't mean that they're happy. If you're
That's right.
seeing a
Yeah.
woman struggling
So
and
good.
dealing with depression or whatever the grief is, we are bleeding, leading while we're bleeding and we're not
Come
healing.
on. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a big thing for me. And this is a
That's
big
so
part of
rich.
why I do this show. This is why inspiring conversations is so important for me. And people may think, you know, they look at this and think I'm doing, there's no money coming in for this. I heard the other day people are charging people to go onto their podcasts and their talk shows. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Can we just not talk? Can we just not share? I don't even think I've ever heard Oprah charge or Ellen charge somebody to come on their show. If celebrities aren't charging to come onto your show, why are you charging people to come onto your show? Let's share with one another. Let's lift each other up.
Yeah.
If I have an audience, and even if I wasn't doing this podcast, what does it take for me to say, you know what? I know this fantastic publisher. If you're looking for a book, she may not be the publisher for you, but I don't know. But here's a Black woman running her business.
Come
Moheen,
on.
she just wrote her book. If you are not a believer, you don't think you've been through buy the book and give it to somebody.
Yeah.
Buy the book just because, even if you sit it down for 5 days, 5 years, I don't care. Just buy the book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just your son is doing cleaning supplies. Okay, you're all the way there. Even if I can't get the cleaning supplies to Toronto,
Sow a seed.
I can sow a
Yeah.
seed into his business. Even if
Correct.
it's $5 I have to send through PayPal, that
Yep.
$5 is going to show him that somebody believes in him. If your
Absolutely.
child takes good pictures, you know, help them to set it up. I remember helping a friend last night set up a website for his children. Go
Wow.
help them get their domain names. You know,
Mhm.
what do you want to name your business? You know, go
Absolutely.
figure it out. And so I know we're on a whole different, but it's just about ownership. And I love
Yes.
two of you have said, and I'm just trying to keep it together. And we as women, we are not fathers. We're not men. We're not meant to carry certain responsibilities that men are supposed to. And so, ladies,
Mhm.
don't wish me happy Father's Day. I love you guys. Don't ever wish me happy Father's Day. I'm just putting it out there.
No. I'm with you, Nicole.
Don't wish me happy Father's Day. I'm not a father. I don't want to be a father. I don't have the tools to be a father. That's not, I'm a mother. I'm a mom.
Yes.
And we need
Mhm.
to embrace our womanhood. So, whoo, so we are all three going to breathe. And this is what
It's
it's,
hard.
it's about conversations, it's about taking each other to the next level. So,
Mhm.
Jessica, I was up in your Kool-Aid
You was in my Kool-Aid today, ma'am. You was in it today.
all weekend, all weekend. And I discovered some things you said. And
Uh-oh, what I
we're
said.
gonna have to I don't even know how to publish. When I saw these things that you said, I literally screenshot them
Oh my.
and I
Oh
made them
goodness.
pictures on my phone. And
Oh God, I hope it was good.
Jessica says, my number one goal for 2020 is not to just do anything. What does that mean?
Oh goodness. Yeah, that's my mantra for this year. I don't want to just do stuff for the sake of doing it. I want passion and purpose to be behind everything that I do. And the reason why I wrote those statements out at the beginning of this year is to challenge myself to go beyond the surface level. You know what I'm saying? Like to really attach a purpose to everything that I do. Like I'm not just a teacher. I open minds. I help people to understand who they are. I don't just publish books. I release timeless literature into the world that's going to change generations. You know, I'm not just raising my son. I am securing my legacy. You know what
Come
I'm
on.
saying? So if I look at it differently from okay, I'm not just raising him, but if I'm securing a legacy, that means that I'm going to give him more than what he needs: food to eat, a roof over his head, a way to get around. But no, I'm going to enrich him because this is my legacy I'm securing. So what I've been doing this year is just challenging myself to go beyond the surface of what I do and understand how it impacts eternity. You know what I'm saying? I won't be here for eternity, but my offspring will. You
Right.
know, the generations that come after me. How am I going to impact 2,300 in 2020? You know what I'm saying? How am I going to impact it? How am I going to make sure that in the year 3000 my voice is heard in some way, that I'm not forgotten? You know what I'm saying? So that's what that's about. I'm not in 2020 and beyond. I'm not just doing anything. I'm not just doing that. And I even have to catch myself in conversations with people. Like, I'm not downplaying what I'm doing. And it's not being pompous. It's not being haughty or anything. It's like, no, I'm a woman who woke up on purpose. I walk with purpose. And everything I do is purposeful. Like, I have a purpose behind why I did that. So, yeah.
Yes,
That was good.
that,
That was good.
yes,
Yeah.
if I could, Jessica, if I could sing a song, I would
Oh my.
right now.
Say, Nicole, say.
Moheen will tell you, you don't want that to happen.
I mean,
I would need some.
you could, but
I would need some vocal coaching. She is the singer in the friendship. Know your lane. But I can talk. She can sing.
That's good. You got to know your lane.
Yeah, I know my lane. And I just wanna say to people here, I'm just gonna read you a couple of things I read that Jessica said that you made me Selah today. You
all
made
Oh,
me
right.
wow.
Selah this weekend when I was reading, and
Oh, my little heart. I can't take this.
you gave me at 51 years, you gave me
Come
you're
on.
30 and I'm 51, and I'm not ashamed to say that I'm 51 and I'm learning. And what I learned from you in just a weekend.
Oh, it's happening.
Oh, goodness. It is happening, guys.
It's happening. It's
What I
happening.
learned from you in this weekend has transformed me. And I understand why this conversation had to happen. I understand why Moheen was gravitated to you. I understand that if I never had another conversation on this platform again, this was worth it. I understand more the power of obedience when you feel something in your spirit. Some people say it's your gut. Some of us will say it's, it's the Holy Spirit, depending on what your belief system. But when you hear that still small voice inside of you saying to do something, and we all know the difference between right and wrong, and we choose. But when you are willing to be teachable, and no matter what it is, when I read this, some people may look at you and there may be some ageism that could happen, because what is this 30-year-old got to teach me? And I know God has had to strengthen you in your being for you to be this confident and this bold and this brash and this sassy and yet so down to earth, yet so real. And I am just, moved by it. And I hope many are moved by the fact that no matter what your size, your age, your color, your race, your creed, you all have a purpose here. So I'm just going to read you some of what Jessica wrote. I don't just want to teach. I want to create learning experiences that impact lives forever. I don't want to just publish books. I want to release ageless literature that elevates minds. I don't want to just mother. I want to love my son so well that it shifts our bloodline and safeguards the wealth and health of my legacy. I don't want to just lead. I want to show others how to blaze paths, defy generational norms, and access the life they always dreamed about. On December 31st, 2020, I want to walk away from this year knowing I didn't just do anything. I want to be proud that I aimed with purpose and hit my targets.
Woo! Come on through.
Ooh, I needed that reminder today.
That's my publisher, y'all. That's my publisher. I'm just saying.
Y'all so silly. Y'all gonna make me boo-hoo. Yep. Go.
I have the gift of the cry. I have the gift of the cry. I'm just saying. I have the gift of the cry. I have the gift
Phenomenal woman.
Cry.
Yeah, you do have that, because I never cry. I know my friends are probably watching like, is she dabbing her eyes? Like, what's going on? Yeah.
Those are some powerful statements. And I think if you can listen to those statements and not make you think about what you're doing, about who you are, and go deep. And, but my personal pastor friend, Ann Jean, said to me, she reminded us today, we were doing a teaching on sonship, and she reminding everybody, you have to be deliberate, set aside that time in the morning. Some people, if you don't believe in God, the life coach friend of mine, Danny Stone, I'm going to have him on one day. Be deliberate every morning. Have a system.
Yes.
What are you going to get up and say? For those of us that believe, we pray. But what does that prayer look like? Without, it's not about reading a book. It's not about the only book you're going to read. If you're a believer, you're reading the book, the word, you pray, but get still.
Yes.
No matter what you do, is get still. And Moheen is a teacher of active listening. If one thing I've learned from Moheen whenever I've forgotten is, don't listen to speak, listen to listen. Don't listen to respond, listen to hear what that person is saying. And then if you have a response, and then see if it needs a response. And it's okay when that person, can say to you, I just want to call you. I just need to talk. And we as women have to learn that art of just listen.
Yes.
Don't give no advice. And, sometimes you have to ask yourself, do you want to comment in here? But Jessica, you are supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
There's no way you knew me and Mary Poppins are like this. You didn't know that. Okay, cool, whatever. This is getting scary. This is getting a little scary.
That is Nicole's favorite word. She uses it when she wants to say that you're awesome, but better than awesome. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is something she's been saying for years. So look at God. Yeah, I mean all the time.
I grew up on Mary Poppins. My mom would have me listen to it every year. Grew up on Mary Poppins.
I love
So,
it. Thank you.
um, I just want to keep talking, and we're going to probably be talking offline. For those of you who won't be offline with us, well, I'm sorry.
So
Sorry, not
sorry.
sorry, but we are. I'm so grateful that you came into Moheen's life. I'm so grateful that you helped to put out this book. And while you compose yourself, Moheen, if you're about to do January, it's January. I'm thinking of my birthday.
Ah,
You ready for this birthday?
come on.
Hey, I'm going to be 52. The number 7, 5 and 2 makes 7, number completion. God has already told me about 2021. I'm enjoying 2020, COVID or no COVID, anything happening. 2020 is a year of preparation for your vision. So get over it, people, and stop complaining about 2020 and stop longing for 2021 because you don't even know what 2021 is going to give you. Please.
Come on.
2020. Doggone it. Anyways, that's my pet peeve.
Give us some of that, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Find the opportunity in the crisis. Doggone it.
Woo, that's it.
Moheen Lombard, tell us the name of your book, where people can find your book, and how they can purchase your book.
Okay, the book is called Triumph Over Trauma. You can find it online at www.uniquelymoheen.com. That again is www.uniquelymoheen.com. Sorry, that's my Siri voice. You can order there, and as of September 7th, it will be made available to my wonderful family and friends in the States on Amazon Kindle. Why do I always say Amazon Kindle and iBook?
I ordered the first book. I'm just saying, I ordered the first book.
She ordered the first book. So yes, unfortunately too, because I've had a few people from the States are like, why can't I get your book? I'm like, September 7th, please bear with me. Yes, so it's available as of September 7th on Kindle and iBook.
And how can people find you? Twitter, Instagram? What do you
just put in Uniquely Moheen on any of those. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I don't think I'm on any other forum that I know of.
I'm going to put her on Twitter.
Just put in Uniquely Moheen and I'll show up because Moheen is a unique name.
And Moheen is M-O-H-E-E-N. M-O-H-E-E-N. And you know how to spell uniquely. If you don't know how to spell uniquely, ask Siri how to spell uniquely.
Siri will tell you.
Just saying, we'll drop her stuff in the comments. And Jessica D. Williams, D for dynamic, D for darling, D for dear, D for just delicious.
I'm over here cracking up. I
try to stop making you cry.
No, I'm laughing, crying. Like I'm a cornball. I love corny jokes. Like that's just like, yeah, it's a unique name.
When God invented the word corny, he said Nicole Corny Waldron.
Oh my!
Really? I don't believe it. I think it probably be all of us together because I just love it. It just cracked me up real good. I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm back from pause. I'm done.
We're gonna have a Jesus time moment. We're gonna let you know our secret.
Oh
at
man!
Midnight, Moheen used to call me. So for you guys are getting in on a secret. Those of you who are still listening to our conversation, because we're having our own grand time right here. This is why we're inspired. I would hear my phone ring. It's 11:59. It's Moheen. Okay, Jesus time, and we would stay up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, just talking.
Just talking Bible. I'm telling you. Or we'd be on the phone and we'd be talking like, it's midnight. It's Jesus time.
No joke. No,
we would pray. We would talk Bible. Oh man, it's like a second wind would hit us at that time. We'd be exhausted. A second wind would hit and we would just talk Bible. And the Lord showed me this and I was praying about this and
yeah. Crazy.
Jesus time.
And this friendship, I tell you, this is what sustains friendship because Moheen and I always don't agree. We've learned how to respect each other's differences and nuances and different choices and stuff like that. But that's the beauty of our friendship, and that's the beauty of friendship and sisterhood. So I feel like we need our own series. Like let's just create a series. And we can do it once a month or whatever and have a sister chat. And we might invite another sister. I don't know if anybody can handle the 3 of us together, but we need just
I'm totally with it. It would be my honor. I'm with it.
It's called
That'd be fun.
Spontaneous Conversations. I already have the name.
What's it called?
Ooh, what's it called?
Spontaneous Conversations.
All right now.
Come on now. Okay, so Jessica D. Williams, how can people find you? I digress. I'm all over the place. Thank God. I am not Oprah. I am not Oprah Winfrey. I don't have this whole, no, nobody's keeping me on. This is just Nicole Coco. No, I just call myself Coco. Nicole. Jesus.
Our friend's name is Coco.
I know. That's why I'm like, how did you become Coco too? I'm here for all of it. People can find me on Facebook, Jessica D. Williams, and then Instagram, Meet JD Williams. But I think it's the same on Facebook too if you just put the tag in there. And then website, man, don't worry about that. Just Jessica D. Williams.
Pop up. Just no, go ahead. Keep talking.
Okay, yeah, just Jessica D. Williams. And our company, if you are interested in learning more information about publishing, www.king-vision.com. That's where you can find us.
Did you see did a screen share happen? I just saw
it did.
Oh yeah. So that
screenshot that today. I created you your own little JPEG.
I see. Oh my gosh. Yep, that's all our information. So that's my son's page, that's our publishing company, that's my church, that's my sorority, and that's my favorite chocolate place in the whole wide world.
I saw all that. I was like, this is so you better teach me how to do that on Instagram, because I don't know how the heck to do all that you just did on Instagram.
It's all in the bio. I just put all in the bio.
Yes, you're so creative. Like let me do a diligent check. Anybody have a question here? Maybe if they had questions here on Facebook, I really wasn't paying attention.
Wait a minute, Nicole, hold on. Nicole, I have to share this with you. So when you said Nicole Coco, she actually put, I'm here, y'all, because she's actually watching my page. I think you just felt her in the spirit, right? So she's here.
Coco, you're going to be up next. We're going to be doing you. We're not doing you, but we're going to be talking to you. People, I'm telling you, had no alcohol to drink. And,
none.
Moheen had promised to make something and send it by Uber Drinks. There's no such company.
Time got away from me, my sister.
Oh my God. I'm just saying, thank you. Let me do my almost real close here. So any last words from you, Jessica and Moheen? I'm going to give you the last words before I close down the show as to what else is happening.
I have nothing. Go buy Moheen's book on September 7th. Find yourself on Amazon.com if you're in the US. But if you're in Canada, go ahead and go to her website right now. Get your copy of Triumph Over Trauma. You need it. Trust me.
How much is the book?
How much is the book, Moheen?
$20.
It's $20. Go get this book, y'all. You spend that at Zaxby's, at Starbucks, at McDonald's. I don't know what y'all got in Canada. What was that place they took me to? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'll be back there soon. Go get her book. That's all I got.
So into Moheen. Go ahead.
Aww.
So into Moheen. And if you wanna, Lord, I just need to speak English. If you would like to publish your book, and you're looking for a publisher, you're looking for an editor, if there is room in Jessica D. Williams' portfolio, you will learn the process. You can go to her website and ask her for some information.
Absolutely.
Do your due diligence and find out what it takes to publish a book, what it is to write your book. If you have thoughts right now about, thinking about writing a book or not sure, just start writing, start journaling, put it down there, because you never know when it's your time to write your book. And I just want to say thank you to Jessica and Moheen for coming on board.
Nicole.
Yes.
I just want to say one thing before you wrap it up so nicely. So
I don't even know how long we've been on here.
So I just want to say, like publicly, because I think when people do things privately, the Bible says that they will be rewarded and honored publicly. So I do want to honor you, Jessica, for the amazing job that you have done. And this is just like book number 2 is on the way. I already told you I'm working on it. So
Let's do it. Let's
I just
do
want to
it.
thank you. But I do want to say this, because I stand in agreement with everything that you had said for yourself and for your son for moving into 2020 and forward. And I'm just declaring that God is just going to open up doors for you, and he is going to bring you into rooms you never even imagined being in. I pray for prosperity and blessing to be upon every single thing that your hand and your family's hands touch. And I just declare the prayer of Jabez over your life, that God will bless you indeed. He will enlarge your territory. He will open up doors. He will make room for you. I speak health and prosperity and longevity of life over you and your bloodline, and that every single work of darkness against your bloodline is defeated in the name of Jesus. And that God will continue to cover you, will continue to walk with you, will continue to have his grace overshadow and overwhelm and overtake your life, and that everything that you do it as unto him, and that people feel Christ when they meet you. It is an extension of who he is, and that lives are changed and impacted for the glory of God because of who you are, and because you are intentional in being who you've been called to be in this season. I declare favor upon favor upon favor over your life in Jesus' name.
I receive it.
Amen.
Thank you, Moheen.
And this is why I
Thank you.
have fire conversations. This is why it's important for us to keep it real.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you are intentional and you bring like minds together, and it's not just about you. It's living a selfless life,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and a life of purpose. I encourage you, each and every one of you,
Mhm.
to think of the inspired conversations you have. Be
Yeah.
intentional. Choose the conversations, and if a conversation is not healthy for you, it's okay to exit. It's okay to say I gotta go.
Yeah.
Be really intentional. Love on someone today.
Mhm.
Say a kind word to someone you meet, and even if your conversation just starts with a smile.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just really have to just stop and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to take back our conversations and make sure that they're inspiring and meaningful. If you have nothing good to say, don't say anything. Sometimes you just need to just know when to be silent.
Mhm.
Your conversations can be inspired by your truth, by your love. We need to be called to a higher place. And I hope today, Moheen and Jessica, thank you for taking the time. I'm going to leave you with a quote. Um, Leaders operate through and with humility. Operate from a posture of humility in your thoughts and actions. Stand in the truth of who you are and be teachable. That's my quote. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Victory Speaks 7. On here on Facebook is Victory Speaks 77 because the 7 was already gone. So hey, I gotta. And then my podcast is on Spotify. It is on iTunes and anywhere you can find a podcast, and that's the audio podcast. And we'll put some of the conversations up there. And my website is victoryspeaks.com. Moheen and Jessica, thank you for being here today.
Thank
And
you for having us.
Thank you.
you know of someone that we should have an inspired conversation with, be sure to send me a note, send me an email. Inspired, what is my email? victoryspeaks7@gmail.com. Or just drop me a note so you know how to find me. And I know Moheen is open to your comments and thoughts. Please please, even if you buy the book through Moheen's website, because her books are available on Amazon, you can actually write a review on Amazon about her book. They may ask you a few more questions, but it will really serve a great purpose. And if you know anyone who has a book that you have bought recently from their website and their book is available on Amazon, and especially someone in the community, write the reviews. The reviews really help the authors, and it's going to help them with their next sale. So let's do all that we can for each other. And I thank you for joining us on Inspired Conversation with Victory Speaks. Peace, love, and I don't know what else. I would say Soul Train, but we go down the Soul Train line. I should have had that Soul Train line sound, but I don't have that Soul Train line sound. I am so sorry. No Soul Train line. We're just going to end with this music. Thank you for tuning in, and be blessed.